Uh, okay, now this is it's 1899, and the Big Show Bonanza is currently performing at the Princess Theatre in Melbourne. The great Goldini's performance was coming to its conclusion, and the grand finale was to be an illusion of vast proportion. So vast, in fact, that it warranted the return of the show's master, Carlo himself. "And now, ladies and gentlemen," he proclaimed, a drum roll having heralded both his appearance and the import of his announcement, "the denouement for which you have all been waiting. The disappearing tiger. Everything you have read and heard of the great Goldini's mastery is about to unfold before you right here on this very stage. Behold." Another drum roll as he gestured to the OP side, that's opposite prompt. All three of them gestured in unison. Carlo, the great Goldini, and the beautiful Cassandra. While from the wings, two stagehands pushed out a trolley upon which sat a large cage. "The tiger!" Carlo bellowed dramatically and perhaps a little unnecessarily, as a wave of gasps rippled through the audience like wind on water. Inside the cage was indeed a tiger, prowling restlessly, unsettled by the lights and the drum roll and the general commotion. "The tiger," Carlo continued seamlessly, "which through the mastery of the great Goldini will disappear before your very eyes, thence to be returned," dramatic pause for effect, "as a kitten." He bashed the front of the cage with his hand, a signal for the animal to growl and slap back with its giant paw, either due to its training or its irritation. No one was sure, least of all Carlo, or for that matter, the Goldinis, who had bought the beast from a circus that was going bust. They didn't know its background. The big cat obeyed, baring its teeth with a snarl, whacking its paw against the bars, and another ripple of gasps, very audible this time, ran through the audience. "A tiger turned into a kitten." Carlo emphatically enthused, pacing downstage, arms outstretched, embracing the whole of the house, "a feat never before witnessed on any stage in the world." The music was about to strike up, and Carlo was about to leave the stage to the Goldinis and their mime and the impressive display of special effects, but that was as far as he got. There was not a sound from the orchestra pit, and the gasps had become far more than a ripple. Both the musicians and the audience were alarmed, and with just cause. Behind him, the gate of the cage had slowly swung open, and the tiger stood there facing directly out front, surveying the freedom that beckoned. The Goldinis, posed either side of the cage as they were, exchanged looks of horror. Neither could move. Husband and wife simultaneously rooted to the spot. Then the tiger stepped out from the cage, negotiating the 1-foot drop from the trolley with threatening elegance. The beautiful Cassandra gave a terrified scream and headed for the wings, OP, while the great Goldini raced for the prompt side, equally terrified, but cursing his wife. He'd never wanted to do this trick in the first place, but she had insisted upon exotic animals being the latest thing, and the bigger the better. Cassie could be so dumb. Carlo turned to see what all the ruckus was about. He froze. The tiger was standing centre stage, its eyes following the direction from whence the screams were still audible. The screams stopped. Someone had shut Cassie out. The tiger turned its attention to the next distraction, which was Carlo. It took a step towards him, then paused, yellow eyes unblinkingly fixed upon this creature of interest. Those in the front row of the stalls were starting to panic. People were getting up out of their seats, prepared to flee. Then, "No, don't go," Carlo said, the voice of calm, but also the voice of compelling authority. "There's no cause for panic, I assure you. It's all part of the act. And they believed him. They sat back down in their seats. The musicians in the orchestra pit knew better. Being the professionals they were, however, they did not disrupt the performance, choosing instead to quickly and silently steal away. Carlo was left to put on a show. He faced the tiger. "Here, Kitty," he said. "Here, Kitty, Kitty." And incredible as it was, there were laughs from the house. Nervous laughs, perhaps, but laughs nonetheless. So far, so good, he thought. Adrenaline coursing through his veins. He had them under control. He took off his tailcoat and, holding it out in front of him like a cape, adopted a matador pose. "Toro," he said. "Toro, Toro." He didn't dare jiggle the tailcoat as a matador might his cape for fear of agitating the beast. But this was Showtime. He had to make things entertaining. The tiger, totally focused upon Carlo and perhaps intrigued by the coat, started to pad very slowly towards him, intent upon investigating. Carlo, equally slowly, backed away. "Toro, Kitty, Toro," he said. The mention of Kitty didn't raise a laugh this time, the audience holding its collective breath, not daring to break the moment. As if in slow motion, man and beast circled the stage. Carlo cautiously backing, the tiger following. Or was it stalking? Was it at any moment about to pounce? At one point, Carlo, in his determination to entertain, gave the coat a small jiggle and the tiger swiped a huge paw at it. A shared gasp from the audience, a very taut moment. No, he decided he wouldn't try that again. But the tiger did seem intrigued by the coat, Carlo realised. "Tigers and kittens are very closely related," he said, keeping his voice calm in order not to excite the beast, but making sure at the same time it reached well out into the auditorium. The acoustics at the Princess Theatre were excellent, as he knew. "They're all just the same, really," he went on. "It's only a matter of size. Wouldn't you agree? Here, Kitty," he called once again, the coat still held out at arm's length. "Here, Kitty, Kitty." No laugh. But you hadn't expected there would be. The circle was nearly completed now. They were back to the cage. Beside him was the open gate. Did he dare? He backed a step or two further. The tiger was beside the open gate now. Yes, he decided he did. Carlo jiggled the coat more vigorously this time, and as the tiger once again swiped at it, he quickly pulled his arms into his chest, the animal's paw missing him by inches. Then, in one swift action, he hurled the coat into the cage and stood facing the tiger, wondering which option would find favour. What's it to be, he thought, the coat or me? But as fate decreed, the tiger automatically followed the source of its interest, the coat. Its circus trainer had used a cape, which the animal had always found irritating. With a snarl, it leapt into the cage. Carlo slammed the gate closed, giving the bars a brief rattle to ensure the catch had firmly clocked, then whirled about to face the audience. "Olé," he said, which was another bullfighting term he'd heard somewhere. "Good Kitty." Adopting full showman pose, he again triumphantly embraced the house. "The tiger did not exactly disappear, I grant you," he announced, "but as you can see, it did become a kitten." Beat that, he thought. And he took his bows to thunderous applause, while behind him the tiger, now slumped on its belly, ripped into the tailcoat, tearing it